Does a prosecutor really care about your case? Is a prosecutor out to get you, yourself? Are you interested in what motivates prosecutors in criminal cases, in my opinion, from a former prosecutor? If so, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years. And I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. So again, is the prosecutor out to get me if I'm a criminal defendant? That's a question that we often get. And more often it's like a statement. How come the prosecutor doesn't know that I'm innocent or can't see that there's no evidence? And it feels very personal to a defendant. So in this video, I'm going to cover three things. One, what is the prosecutor's role in a criminal case? What's their stated role? Two, how does it really work for prosecutors? You know, what does their day-to-day life look like, and how that relates to your case, hopefully? And number three, what it is that you need to know and how you need to think about things so you don't go crazy while your criminal case is going through the courts. So what is a prosecutor's role? Well, a prosecutor is not someone that represents a victim. Oftentimes we hear that it's like, well, you know, the person I'm accused of assaulting, their attorney is the prosecutor. No, the prosecutor is not the attorney for the victim. The prosecutor is the attorney for the government, right? The prosecuting attorney's office. And what is the prosecutor's role? Well, most people think the prosecutor's role is to put people in jail or stuff like that. And that might be in some cases, but the prosecutor's stated role is to do justice. And a good prosecutor tries to do justice. They don't just try to convict everybody. They hopefully try to provide the gray to the black and white of the law, because black and white of the law is very harsh and leads to some harsh outcomes. I was a prosecutor for 7 years. I always thought as my role is providing that gray, trying to do fairness to the overall situation, because not every accused crime is the same. You know, being alleged to take a candy bar if you're starving is a lot different than being alleged to have broken into somebody's car and taken their wallet because you're greedy, right? So those are different levels of offenses, although the same exact charge, potentially theft in the third degree. Could be worse on the car thing. It could be vehicle prowl, but as an example on the fly. So that's the prosecutor's stated role, is to do justice. And so how does it really work? Number two, how does a prosecutor really do things? What is their day-to-day life like? And here's where most clients get it wrong. Most clients think that a prosecutor knows everything about their case and that they've studied it and they've spoken to the witnesses and you know, they're totally on top of things, and since they're still prosecuting me, it must be very personal. Well, that's not how it works, right? A prosecutor has too many cases to be totally on top of his or her caseload at all times. It's just not possible, right? And at certain times they don't need to be totally on top of every detail, because at a pretrial stage, right, you know, can't go to trial. They're negotiating on their notes and generally what they know and that type of stuff. And so while that often works to the advantage of the defense, it can also be super annoying for the defendant, him or herself, right? I mean, why is this case going on? Why aren't they paying attention to my case? Well, they just have too many cases, right? They might have 50 cases on that day, and there's 50 reports and 50 different attorneys potentially talking to them about things, and all the trial they've got next week, and the motion in the afternoon, and the victim interview they have to do, and they need to go provide some training to the police. You know, it is a challenging job, it's a rewarding job, but it's also a very demanding job, being a prosecutor. So in the day-to-day life, the prosecutor's doing their best. Hopefully they are responding to what they need to respond to, but they are not some robot who knows every little thing about your case. So if your case is still proceeding, why hasn't the prosecutor let me go? You know, it's not typically personal. It's not about you, it's about the system, because the system is this huge group of people who are trying to enforce the laws and legislate morality and, you know, basically, you know, take care of society here at the margins when supposedly we've stepped out of line. So it's a difficult and inconvenient situation, and hopefully your defense attorney knows that and is trying to explain to you how it really works. So that moves on to step 3. How should you think about it, right? How should you think about it to get through things, being the prosecutor being out to get you? So, sometimes a prosecutor is out to get you, right? If you've, once in a blue moon, we have a case where a prosecutor has taken something very personally. It's a personal type of crime where it's happened to them. They've seen you in court before. Maybe something was said to the prosecutor that upset them, either by yourself or your defense attorney. So that's why you need to choose your attorneys with caution, right? Because prosecutors have power. But usually it is not personal to the prosecutor. What we tell our clients is we don't want to give the prosecutor a reason to care about your case outside the 4 corners of the documents. So you need to think about it. It's a good thing if your attorney treats your prosecutor with respect. Sometimes I hear people on the phone, well, they were friendly with the prosecutor. They must be in cahoots together. Well, anyone, you can think what you want, but it's sort of a ridiculous thought. Attorneys got to be attorneys because, they like to achieve. They like to win. And if they're hired to represent you, that's what they're trying to do. But as we might know, the person that has the power in the case is the prosecutor. So it's not a good idea to make them mad, make them mad at you, or to be mean to them. They are typically good people trying to do their best in a very difficult situation. So think about it that a prosecutor, it's good to be polite to prosecutors. Think about it that if your attorney is having you do certain things in the case, like do some classes or stuff, it's to make it easier on the prosecutor to feel comfortable with taking a risk on you, right? A prosecutor has a job. I've got another video about everybody being self-interested, and prosecutors are self-interested as well, right? Some prosecutors get a lot of reward by being part of the solution, right? Those are the prosecutors that I think we need out there. Some prosecutors feel much better if they can encourage a defendant to better themselves with education, with classes, with treatment, and that might be a way that they feel they provide a role. Some prosecutors might be more worried about what happens to them if they let you go. I always was worried about that. When I was a prosecutor, if I had a case where I took a chance on a defendant and gave them a good result, offered them a good result that they took based upon the problems with the case or what they did, and I would be at the gym and watching the news and something happened to somebody, I would say, please don't let the suspect be someone that I let go, right? Because then I would feel bad and guilty about that I made a bad decision. The prosecutor's in the same shoes. A prosecutor also may be worried about, what a victim might say, if they're, too lenient, right? Are they going to go to their boss? Are they going to cause problems, right? So some prosecutors are interested in that way. And then sort of the toughest prosecutors are the ones that more have this, black and white ruled view, no gray. And they just look at their job as, I must prove my case. I must prove my case. Well, those are the prosecutors I think we need to get out of office, because those are the ones that aren't going to take into account humanity and things like that. So the way you need to think about it is that unless there's been a reason for the prosecutor to care about your case, whatever's going on is not personal to you because they don't know you, right? You have to think about it that they are just doing their job, and hopefully you're going to listen to your attorney so they can do their best to get the prosecutor to see you and your case and see you as a person, and then hopefully do the best by you. But don't make assumptions about prosecutors' actions. Don't assume anything is personal, and always try to do your best so your attorney can get you the best outcome. So that's what I can tell you about whether or not the prosecutor's out to get you. Usually no, not you personally. They're just prosecuting the case. And in some cases like major felonies, then maybe the answer is yes, they are. But in any case, I want you to pay attention to your attorney, try to relax, and realize that you're going to get through this. Almost all cases have a favorable outcome, in my opinion, if you do the right thing with your attorney. And hopefully it will turn out in a way that works for everybody. So if you find this video useful, please like and please subscribe. We're putting this out there to educate the public. And if you're in this situation, if you're charged with a crime, feel free to reach out to us. Again, my name's Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington, and we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we'll be there for you. Thank you.